As we get older, we often notice changes around us, some of them subtle, others more obvious. The truth is, aging brings about challenges, but it also opens up opportunities for growth, reflection, and a deeper connection with ourselves and others. It's easy to start feeling disconnected, as if we're not quite as vibrant or energetic as we once were. The world seems to move faster, and sometimes it feels like others might treat us differently, or maybe even as if we're being overlooked. But let me tell you something. Just because we age doesn't mean we lose our presence or our ability to influence those around us. The key is finding ways to keep that sense of vitality, confidence, and connection alive. When we age, we sometimes develop habits without even realizing it. Habits that affect how we feel about ourselves and how others perceive us. Maybe we're not as engaged in conversations as we once were, or maybe it's just little things like our body language or our tone that shift over time. But the great thing is that these habits are not permanent. We have the power to change them, to adjust, and to embrace the things that will make us feel more confident, more energized, and more present in every moment. It's easy to get caught up in frustration or to feel like the world has passed us by. But trust me, small adjustments can have a huge impact. You don't need to make dramatic changes to feel better about yourself or your interactions with others. The truth is, a few mindful adjustments can help you engage more meaningfully, maintain your energy, and feel like you're bringing your best self to every interaction. It's all about finding a balance. One that honors both the wisdom that comes with age and the joy that can still be found in everyday life. If this sounds like something that resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave a comment below and share how you might start making these small changes. Your feedback is important, and I believe it can inspire others to take those first steps as well. Together, we can keep embracing this wonderful journey of life, with all the lessons, opportunities, and joys it has to offer. Now, let's explore some simple ways you can make small changes to feel more confident, energetic, and truly engaged in your day-to-day life. Let's get started. As we age, there's a tendency to feel like certain things like grooming or how we look become less important. Maybe we think, I don't need to look my best every day anymore, or it's not as important as it used to be. But here's the thing, personal grooming is about so much more than appearance. It's about maintaining a sense of pride in yourself, feeling good in your own skin, and showing the world that you still care. When we neglect grooming, even in small ways, it can unintentionally affect how we feel about ourselves and how others perceive us. Take a moment to think about how you feel when you've taken the time to look after yourself. Maybe you put on a shirt that makes you feel comfortable, or you've combed your hair just the way you like it. That simple act can instantly boost your mood and make you feel more confident. It's not about being perfect or looking like you did when you were younger. It's about taking that extra step to show up for yourself every day. The reality is, when we make small changes to how we take care of ourselves, it can positively impact how we interact with the world around us. Now, I'm not saying you need to spend hours every day on grooming. It's not about perfection. Simple things like keeping your hair neat, trimming your nails, and taking care of your skin can make a world of difference. These small changes can bring a sense of pride and energy that others will notice, too. People will see you not just as someone aging, but as someone who continues to put in the effort and has respect for themselves. It also helps create a positive energy that makes it easier to engage in conversations and connect with others. Personal grooming also plays a bigger role than just physical appearance. It's tied to how you feel about yourself. When you feel like you've made an effort, even if it's just a little, you'll find that you walk a little taller, hold yourself with more confidence, and interact with others with more ease. It's about the small things that remind you that you're still vibrant, still capable, and still here to be seen and heard. You have so much to offer, and when you put thought into how you present yourself, it can make you feel like your best self, no matter what age. This is something I want you to think about. The next time you look in the mirror or go to grab your favorite shirt, ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? Small steps in personal care can remind you of your worth and create a presence that feels good for you and those around you. It doesn't need to be a big change, just a shift in how you approach your day-to-day care. So, what do you think? Do you see ways that small grooming habits could boost your confidence? If so, leave a comment below and let me know how you plan to take charge of your grooming routine moving forward. Everyone deserves to feel like their best self, and I'd love to hear how these small adjustments could make a difference for you. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where it seems like the other person just keeps talking over you? Or maybe they're speaking so loudly that it makes everyone around you uncomfortable. It's something we don't always notice happening, but it's more common than you might think, especially as we get older. As we age, things like hearing loss can make us more likely to speak louder or interrupt others without even realizing it. It's a frustrating situation because you may feel like you're not being heard, or perhaps you're just trying to keep up with a conversation, but in the process, you may end up overwhelming those around you. The truth is, the way we communicate has a massive impact on how others perceive us. Take, for instance, someone like George, who's in his late 70s and loves to engage with others at the local community center. Over the years, he noticed that people were starting to shy away when he spoke. At first, he thought it was just him. But one day, a friend pulled him aside and gently told him that his voice was getting louder and that he was interrupting people during conversations. This made George realize something important. His hearing had changed, and he was unconsciously raising his voice to compensate. But because he didn't know this, it made his interactions a bit uncomfortable. This issue of speaking loudly or interrupting is actually more common than people realize. It's linked to hearing loss, a condition that many older adults experience, but it doesn't always get addressed. It can cause frustration both for the person speaking and for the people listening. So what can you do about it? The first thing is to become aware of the volume at which you're speaking. It may sound simple, but paying attention to how loud you talk can make a huge difference in the comfort level of those around you. Try to speak at a moderate volume, and if you feel like you're not being heard, you can always gently ask if people are able to hear you. It's better to be mindful of your speech than to risk overpowering the conversation. Another important thing is to focus on listening. A lot of times, interruptions happen when we feel eager to share our thoughts, but this can leave others feeling like they haven't had a chance to express themselves. If you find yourself interrupting, try to pause and let the other person finish their thought. Practicing active listening is a great way to ensure that you're not only speaking but also creating an environment where both sides can engage meaningfully. You can also get your hearing checked regularly. If you're noticing that your hearing has changed, there's no harm in seeking professional help. Hearing aids, for example, can make a world of difference in how you experience conversations and how others perceive your communication. Being aware of your own hearing health is essential in preventing misunderstandings. I understand it might be a bit awkward to realize that you're unintentionally interrupting or speaking loudly, but the key is being aware and adjusting. Once you start to pay attention to the volume of your voice and practice better listening habits, you'll notice a positive change in how others engage with you. As we get older, it's easy to fall into the habit of wearing clothes that are comfortable, even if they're no longer quite in style. I know many of us have that favorite sweater or pair of pants we've had for years. Maybe they bring a sense of nostalgia or simply feel cozy. But here's the thing. How we dress can make a significant impact on how we feel and how others perceive us. When clothes no longer fit well or are out of date, they can send an unintended message that we're disengaged, not taking care of ourselves, or simply aren't interested in how we're seen by others. I'm sure you've had those moments where you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, and you wonder, does this look as good as it used to? But rather than feeling discouraged, think of this as an opportunity to make small changes that can elevate your confidence and improve the way you present yourself. Take someone like Carol, who is 70 and lives in a quiet neighborhood. She's always been independent, but over time, she realized she was wearing the same few outfits repeatedly, not because she loved them, but because they were comfortable. They were a bit too big, too old-fashioned, and didn't reflect her vibrant personality. Carol began noticing that people were treating her as if she were frail, and that wasn't who she was. One day, she decided to update her wardrobe. She went to a store, tried on a few pieces, and discovered how amazing she felt in clothes that fit well and had a bit more style to them. Suddenly, her confidence skyrocketed, and people began engaging with her differently, with more energy and respect. What many don't realize is that the clothes we wear can make a world of difference in how we feel about ourselves. When your clothes are too loose, too tight, or just don't fit right, it can leave you feeling disconnected from your body or uncomfortable. But on the flip side, when you wear clothes that fit well, that make you feel confident, you start to carry yourself differently and people notice. So what can you do? It's all about finding clothing that fits your current body shape. Clothes don't need to be expensive or trendy to make you feel good. They just need to be comfortable, well-fitted, and suit your personal style. If you're unsure about how to start, you can try getting professional help. Many stores offer personal shopping services, or you can ask a friend or family member for advice. There are also many online resources that give tips on dressing for your body type, even as we age. You don't need to throw out all your old clothes at once, but introducing a few modern, well-fitting pieces into your wardrobe can make a big difference. A good jacket, a pair of tailored pants, or a shirt that gives you a more youthful appearance can do wonders for your self-esteem. And don't forget accessories. A nice scarf, a comfortable yet stylish pair of shoes, or a new pair of glasses can freshen up your look without much effort. It's not about chasing trends. It's about feeling like the best version of yourself. When you feel confident in your clothes, it shows in how you interact with others, and it makes those interactions more pleasant and engaging. So here's a thought for you. When was the last time you updated your wardrobe? Or at least tried something new? Even something small like getting a new shirt or a jacket can bring a fresh spark to your day. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced how a change in your wardrobe boosted your confidence? I'm sure you've been in conversations where someone just can't stop complaining. Maybe they talk about how things were better in the past, or they constantly find fault in everything happening around them. At first, it might seem like harmless venting, but over time, it can wear people down, and I know you've likely experienced how draining that can be. As we get older, it's natural to see changes in the world, in the people around us, and in ourselves. It's easy to become frustrated or disappointed by the things we don't like. But here's the thing, constantly focusing on what's wrong can really affect the way people see us. It can make interactions feel heavy and negative. People begin to avoid those conversations because they know they'll end up hearing about complaints. And I'm sure, deep down, you don't want to be the person who drains the energy from a room. Take someone like Max, a 72-year-old retiree. Max had worked hard his whole life and had a lot of experience to share. But over time, his conversation started to focus more on how everything had changed, how the younger generation didn't know what they were doing, or how life just wasn't as good as it used to be. He didn't realize it, but he had become the person everyone avoided in social situations. One day, his granddaughter, Emily, gently asked him, "Grandpa, do you even like anything these days?" That question hit him hard, and he realized something. He had stopped focusing on the good things in life. He wasn't seeing the positives anymore. Instead of letting go of the frustrations, he had started to carry them into every conversation. It wasn't just making him feel bad. It was making others feel bad too. Now, I know that doesn't mean you have to act like everything is perfect all the time. Life can be tough, and there's no shame in sharing your concerns. But the key is to balance your frustrations with appreciation. If you focus too much on what's wrong, it can create an atmosphere of negativity, and people naturally gravitate toward those who lift them up instead. But when you offer something positive in the mix, it's like a breath of fresh air. It keeps conversations more enjoyable, more connected. So what can you do? The next time you feel frustrated or ready to complain, try shifting your perspective. Rather than saying, "Everything was better back in my day," you might say, "Things were different back in my day, but I'm curious how this new way works." Instead of focusing on all the things that bother you, try to look for something interesting, hopeful, or humorous in the situation. Could be as simple as finding a silver lining. If you're talking about the changes in technology, instead of criticizing how complicated things are, you could talk about how exciting it is to learn something new or how some aspects of technology are making life easier. Or maybe, if you're talking about changes in the world, try asking someone what they like most about the current generation or trends. People are drawn to those who make them feel good, inspired, or engaged. So, when you balance your concerns with curiosity and appreciation, you'll notice people begin to enjoy your company more. They won't just avoid you. They'll seek you out because your presence will feel uplifting, not draining. I know this can be hard at times, especially if you've gotten used to talking about what bothers you. But just remember, small changes like these can have a huge impact on your relationships and on how people see you. So, next time you find yourself starting to complain, try to pause and ask yourself, what can I add that's positive or curious? You'll be surprised at how much of a difference it can make. You might not realize it, but the way you carry yourself speaks volumes, especially as we age. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it, how you move, stand, and present yourself can significantly affect how people perceive you. I'm sure you've seen people who seem older or less energetic simply because their body language doesn't match their age or mindset. It's something that can easily happen without even realizing it. As we get older, we sometimes fall into habits like slouching or walking more slowly. These things can happen naturally over time. But here's the thing, how we present ourselves affects more than just how we feel. It affects how others see us, too. Poor posture or a closed-off stance can give off the impression of weakness, disengagement, or even frailty, even when that's far from the truth. And I'm sure that's not how you want to be seen. Let's take a moment to think about someone like Alice. She's 83, very active, and still loves to walk in the park every morning. But for some time, she noticed that people were treating her differently. Strangers would offer help, even though she didn't need it, and her family started to treat her as though she were fragile. It wasn't until she saw a picture of herself standing with rounded shoulders and her arms crossed, looking slumped, that it hit her. She realized her posture was sending the wrong message, one that made her appear weaker than she truly was. This is a really common issue, and it's easy to overlook. But the truth is, posture plays a huge role in how others perceive our energy, our confidence, and even our age. Research shows that people who maintain good posture appear more confident, more energetic, and even younger than those who slouch. When you stand up tall, you not only feel better, but you also radiate strength and vitality. So, what can you do to improve your posture? Well, it's all about small, simple changes. Start by paying attention to how you sit, stand, and walk throughout the day. One trick that can help you straighten up is to imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head, gently pulling you upwards. This will naturally align your spine and help you avoid slumping over without forcing yourself to do so. When you're walking, try to lift your feet fully off the ground instead of shuffling. This can make a big difference in how you appear to others. Even when you're just talking to someone, remember that facing them directly and maintaining eye contact goes a long way. Your body language can communicate so much, and when you combine that with open, comfortable gestures, you'll appear more approachable and engaged. The way you present yourself physically can change how people interact with you. Good posture can make you seem more present, capable, and confident, which is exactly how you want to be seen. And when you look confident, others are more likely to treat you as the strong, independent person you are. It's all about showing the world that you're ready to be a part of it, and you've still got a lot to offer. Now, I know it might feel a little awkward at first, especially if you're not used to focusing on your posture. But don't worry, with a little practice, it'll become second nature. Just remember, standing tall isn't just for the younger generation. It's a sign of strength, vitality, and a positive outlook, no matter your age. There's something we often don't talk about but is really important, especially as we age: bad breath or body odor. It's not the easiest thing to bring up, but it can be one of the first things others notice about us. And trust me, it can make a huge difference in how social interactions go. As we get older, our sense of smell tends to weaken, and this means we might not notice changes in our own scent. But the truth is, others do notice, and it can affect how they feel when they're around you. Take Edwin, for example. He's 78 years old, and he's always been the life of the party. He loved chatting with friends, sharing stories, and catching up with old acquaintances. But lately, something was off. His neighbor, who used to stand right next to him while they talked, started keeping a little more distance. Friends who used to linger during conversations now made them brief and kept their distance. At first, Edwin didn't understand what was happening. It wasn't until his daughter gently suggested he try a new mouthwash and drink more water throughout the day that it hit him. He had never thought that something like dehydration or changes in his diet could be contributing to bad breath or body odor. The reality is that as we age, certain factors can cause our breath or body odor to change. Could be something simple like dehydration, which is a big contributor to bad breath, as a dry mouth can cause bacteria to build up more quickly. It could also be due to medications, which may cause changes in the body's natural scent. And let's not forget that dietary choices, like eating spicy foods or drinking coffee, can also impact how we smell. So, even if you don't notice it, the people around you may. But don't worry, this is something you can control. A few small changes can make a world of difference. First and foremost, staying hydrated is key. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day helps keep your mouth moist, which in turn prevents bacteria from accumulating and causing bad breath. Chewing sugar-free gum or sucking on mints is another great trick to stimulate saliva production and keep your breath fresh. If you're noticing a little extra dryness, using an alcohol-free mouthwash can help, too, without the harshness of alcohol, which can make your mouth even drier. Now, let's talk about body odor. As we age, our metabolism slows down, and our body's ability to regulate temperature or produce sweat can change, leading to new odors. But you don't have to let that affect your confidence or social life. Regular showers, wearing breathable fabrics, and rotating deodorants can go a long way in keeping you feeling fresh. It's also a good idea to wash your clothes more often. Things like hats, scarves, or jackets that you wear repeatedly can build up odor too. Small adjustments like these can make a huge difference in how others perceive you when you walk into a room. I know these conversations aren't always easy, but good hygiene is about more than just feeling clean. It's about how others experience your presence. No one wants to feel like they're keeping their distance from you because of an unpleasant smell. Instead, you want people to lean in closer, feel comfortable, and enjoy being around you. These small, simple habits like drinking enough water, using a good mouthwash, and being mindful of your hygiene can help ensure that when you walk into a room, you're not just confident in your presence, but you're also making people feel comfortable and at ease. After all, feeling good about how you smell can make all the difference in your social interactions, and it's something that's totally in your control. Have you ever noticed how a simple change like chewing gum or wearing fresh clothes can completely change how you feel about yourself? Or maybe you've experienced a situation where you were unsure why someone kept their distance, and you realized it was something like this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. Aging doesn't mean losing your presence or influence. It's about refining it. Small changes can make a huge difference in how we feel about ourselves and how others see us. The simple acts of paying attention to personal grooming, adjusting how we communicate, and improving body language can make us feel more confident, engaged, and connected with the world around us. It doesn't take drastic changes. Sometimes it's just about making small tweaks, like being mindful of our posture or taking care of our hygiene, that can transform how we carry ourselves. When we start with these small steps, we create positive momentum that leads to bigger, more noticeable results. So, think about one thing you can work on from this list. Maybe it's improving your posture, or perhaps it's being more aware of your voice. It's all about making consistent, small adjustments that lead to positive changes in how you interact with the world. Aging can be a beautiful process of growth and self-discovery. With a few mindful changes, you can continue to be the confident, vibrant person you've always been. What's one thing you plan to work on after reading this? Take that first step, and you'll notice how it makes a difference in your life.